Okay, I am recording this video to introduce you to the new style of guided notes and note taking in general that we're going to be going through. So, for this chemistry unit, we are going to introduce flexible pacing, meaning that if you need to go through the guided notes a little slower, you can do so. If you generally type fast, you get the notes easily, and you want to progress on to some of the labs more quickly, you can do that as well. So I wanted to just give an overview of the new format of the class that we're going to be doing. So first of all, with our notes, they will be mostly through videos like this. Um, Here in our guided notes, I have um, linked videos here that are highlighted. So anytime you see a highlighted video, that's one of the videos that Miss Roland or I created. So like this one here takes us to instructions for our intro lab. You'll see me demoing the lab. I tell you the instructions, I tell you how much of each thing to put in, what the safety features are, and I do everything up until the very last step where the reaction occurs because I don't want to spoil it for you. I just do the intro. So you watch this video, then you do your observations. So, like, what is your observations of the baking soda before the reaction, the rock salt before the action, the phenol red before the reaction? You tell me what the ending substances are, and you make observations about what the ending substances are. Then you answer some follow up questions. Then, once you're done with this lab, you move on to the instructional video, and it says instructional video questions 3 to 5. So we got questions 3, 4, and 5 here. And this part right here involves another lab or activity. So you're just going to progress through your notes, completing the questions as you do the videos. Sometimes, like here, there's an instructional video just for question 6. That's all it is right here. So I'll talk about physical properties, I'll talk about chemical properties, and then there's additional articles and videos for you to read where I found better resources than me just talking at you. And then there's an instruction for a practice or review where you make a Venn diagram. So throughout this unit, you just follow through the notes, clicking on our links that we put in there. In addition to just going straight through the notes, we also have something called a pacing tracker to help you keep on task and to help you know what's coming up next. So I have this pacing tracker for my class. Miss Roland has a pacing tracker for her class. When you click on this link, it will take you to a Google spreadsheet. Um, First hour, it takes you right to your class. But if you're in hours 5, 6, or 7, you'll need to click down here on your class so it'll take you to where you are. Now, the way we use this is each assignment or task has its own column. Once you complete an assignment, you go in and you fill in your cell with green. Green means good to go. You're able to move on to the next point. And so as you are completing each activity, like you get through guided notes, question 6, physical and chemical properties Venn diagram. Once you complete this activity right here, you turn it in and you come in and you fill in this box green. Once you've had a couple boxes filled in, you can just click on a box, do Control C to copy, and then you can go in and do Control V to fill it in. You don't always have to go up to this fill thing. As you're going through this, you'll hit knowledge check. So knowledge check part 1, answer the essential question. Knowledge check part 2, which is a KIA assessment. When you do these, go ahead and fill them in with green, but you are not allowed to move on to the rest of these activities until you've just demonstrated mastery on these knowledge checks. So this first knowledge check, we want you to get an 80%. I think on this one there are 15 questions, which means you need to get a 12 out of 15 to proceed on. But I'll put that in the notes with how much we expect you to get. Then you do your pre-assessment. Then you continue on with the notes until guided notes question 16. 1.2 knowledge check part 1. This is where you answer the essential question, and knowledge check part 2, which is a KIA assessment. So this pacing tracker is just to help keep you on task. you'll see up here there's an expected pacing or due date. So maybe I expect you to get this done on the very first day, which I want to say is 2/19, but I'm not exactly sure. And then I think it might take you another day to get to here, so I put 2/20. I think you should get here 2/20 same day. But then maybe this one is 2/21, and this one maybe I think it's going to take you 3 days to get there, so I'm going to do 2/24. These dates are all just made up right now, but the point is they're there to reference. So if you're on February 26th and you only see 2/24, that means you should have done this 2 days earlier and you are behind pace and you need to work during wind time or WA to get caught up. So we've got our notes, we've got our pacing tracker, and we have these knowledge checks that you need to show that you've mastered the material before moving on. If you don't pass these knowledge checks, then you will get in small groups with us, the teachers, or with other students to review and reteach and go over some of the more information in depth a little more so that we can support you and make sure that you are actually learning the material. If you pass the knowledge check on your first try, you get to move on at your own pace. Eventually, we'll get down to some of these labs. These labs are somewhat optional. If you are falling behind, you don't necessarily get to do all of the labs. But if you are interested in chemistry and you want to do some of the fun parts about chemistry instead of just going through all these notes, make sure you are staying on pace in the pacing tracker so that you get to do these fun activities. So that's the new format of our class. It might seem confusing right now, but you will learn about it as we go through it.